I don't know. It can be the simplest thing to the more complex thing. But at the end of the day, I just believe marketing is one of the best momentums.
Yeah, and I think something that we have to talk about is like what is stopping people from doing these things, like the culture, the distractions. What distractions do they have?
Yeah.
What kind of friends do they have?
Yeah.
What do they do every weekend? And I feel like that's a very big problem nowadays in society. It's a culture. A lot of people are very invested into the culture, and they try to be what they are showing us. So that's affecting us. Like in the Hispanic culture, we have banda, right? We have corridos, we have this and that. But they glorify drinking. They glorify beer. They glorify all of that. And I think it's part of the culture. And I mean, in Mexico, you have people that, with guns and growing up, they're violent and they're very machista and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's part of the culture basically. You have here the Bad Bunny culture, right?
Damn.
Affecting women.
Damn, that's crazy.
I believe it affects women, and women glorify that for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, you listen to the lyrics. And they're bad. Like, I'm trying to think of lyrics right now. Yo perreo sola.
Perreo sola.
That's not that bad. That's not that bad. Because it's basically saying I dance by myself, right?
Yeah.
But
Lamber culo, like let's say the truth, man.
Like Cardi B, wet ass pussy, like that's the number one song in the country.
Even that one.
That was the number one song in the country for how many weeks and weeks and weeks?
4 weeks and 4.5.
What are we just like? How did we get here? Yeah, exactly. How did we get here?
And I think Bad Bunny says like las mujeres no tienen marido, basically saying like the women don't have the husbands here, like which it's kind of destroying the family apart.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of music nowadays that people glorify like that, like Cardi B, stuff like that, and it's affecting people in such a bad way that they don't realize. We
can go deep on that topic because
it's
all designed. The lyrics. These people that run this industry that write the lyrics for these songs. None of these artists. Some of them maybe write their own lyrics, right? But once they sign that multi-million-dollar contract, they're literally slaves. They're owned by that corporation or that music label. And they allow what content that they want them to put out. So these lyrics are on purpose to get our children or society, men, women, everybody to adapt that culture that you're talking about right now.
And I know that Cardi B was called out on that pussy. I mean,
Candace Owens. On that with what right there happens, brother.
That song is so disgusting. Like,
who called that? Candace Owens, right? Candace Owens, right?
Candace Owens actually called her out on that wet ass pussy, and
just call it what?
Cardi B actually replied, I think on Twitter. She was like, "It's not my job," and people like to use this argument.
Yeah.
It's not my job to raise your children. It's not my job to raise your children. And then people say, "Oh, it's all about the parenting." And yes, I agree to a certain extent. It's about the parenting.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the music industry, you cannot stop it at all times. Like if you go to public school, like if you take your kids to public school, everything bad I learned was in school.
Yeah.
Everything bad I learned was in school.
Yeah.
So even if you impede your children from listening to this music, everyone in school is gonna be on that music. That it's a thing. It's a popular thing. It's affecting the kids.
Yeah.
So your kid, to be cool, is gonna wanna listen to that, and it's normal for kids to do that.
Yeah.
So, but the argument that they use is not my responsibility to raise your child, but at the end of the day, the people that control you and you know exactly what you're doing. You are affecting society, you're affecting culture, you're affecting the children's minds, and even adults that can think for themselves.
Yeah. So that's where my mission comes in, and building stronger people, not just stronger men, of course, but it's got to be, if everybody does what's popular, and then we have to make our ideals more popular. It has to be more popular to be like us than it is to be like that. Like if you listen to that, and as bad as it sounds, like I don't want to be the person that's like rubbing your nose in something, like to say like don't do that or whatever. It's got to be their own choice, right? So that's where becoming the change that you want to see is the mission, right? So if we can build enough stronger people, and there's a lot of us already out there that we're connecting to, like people are waking up to that. So there's a lot of people that are already against that culture. If we can continue to grow and spread then it becomes more popular to be like this than it is to be like that. Then it starts to be looked down upon to be like that, because it should. It should. There's nothing wrong with looking down upon that type of culture. It should be looked down upon. You know what I mean? You're not racist. You're not a bigot. You're not sexist. You're not homophobic. If you look down on those things, it's just you have traditional values. This is what this country was founded on, and people can shit on this country all they want because of what they were taught in their schools from people that hate this country. But that does not mean that it's the right way to be, you know what I mean? So we have to continue to unite that tribe. It all goes back to the mission.
And actually, you brought that up right there. How it does not only affect young people, but also older people. And when we're talking people in the 30s, 40s, right? Why not? Say how it is.
Some people never wake up.
Some people never wake up. Some people live the same cycle, and it's okay. If they want to do that, I hope they really understand there's no good consequence out of it. Because I do know some people that are like that, and they actually accept it. They're like, yeah, man, I know I'm gonna do
they accept it.
But it is what it is, and I'm never gonna change. At least I hear that. At least that tells me, man, I'm happy for you that you are mature enough to accept that reality, and if you really are willing to go through that and know the ending, I won't stop you. You know, you have. But there's people out there that you tell them that and they get offended, and we see it. You say sexist, homophobic,
racist,
misogynist. And you see all those words, all those labels. And recently, I was looking at a study that women are criticizing a lot, guys as well, but special guys. Let's just say that. They're saying how, for example, pornography it affects relationships or bad. And I totally agree with that, because if one partner is gonna do interesting things, right, and you be like, oh shit, man. I mean, at the end of the day, you're human, and you gotta be careful with your curiosity. Because curiosity can take you to places you might not like. Simple as that. Right. It might give you problems with your self-esteem, problems with this, problems with that, and some people, and I'll say this for experience. Some people say, oh, you said it, Bad Bunny, right? Oh, I like Bad Bunny because he doesn't care. Well, I don't care too. I honestly don't care what people say about me. Right. And yet I'm not being looked at because what I say is, it's bad for at the moment, but ironically it's a good thing for long term, right? But you hear people like that, they're saying, lyrics, there are sexualized, right? Sexual lyrics.
At the end of the day, sexualizing women, they degrade women in the most horrible way. Yeah. And women glorify it for some way.
Yeah,
and they call it women empowerment.
Yeah, and that's a problem, because that also affects the partner from her side and the guy, because the guy is like, okay, I might not look at that. I mean, the guy might be right. The guy might not have an issue with pornography, right? Because they're saying that the guys have the right, right? But now the girl has an issue now, my friend, because she doesn't have to look. Because what I know, one thing, women had this beautiful thing. You see, I'm respecting women here. They are great with imagining things. They can imagine a great husband that respects her, this, that, and eventually you work. They put the dignity first and all that stuff, and they attract that, right? That energy comes with it, right? But if they already imagine stuff that they're sexualized and all that stuff, and they expect this partner to come in, they're like, oh man, she's like, man, he better do this. If not, it starts to go down. Everything, the self-esteem of the guy goes down. Yeah. So at the end of the day, who's right, who's wrong? Both are wrong.
Let me say something too real quick. So I've had conversations like with this. I do drive for Uber as well as one of my other jobs, and I have conversations in my car daily, and we talk about all kinds of stuff. In fact, I want to get a camera in there and record some of those conversations.
You should, man.
I thought about it. But anyway, the point is when you have that conversation to, let's say, a feminist. There's a difference between being feminine and being a feminist, right?
Yes.
And feminists traditionally they usually hate men, right? They think they have this idea, but they're confused. When I say strong men, building stronger men is my mission, they cringe and they get all right. But I'm like, what you don't understand is by building stronger men, they think stronger men or the term alpha, they think it means this guy that puts people down, that trashes you, that fuck. Yeah, and it's like that's actually beta male behavior. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It's like an alpha male. Building a stronger man means building a man that respects women, building a man that's a good father, that it's actually building a better dating pool for these women. Like they're actually you know what I mean? Like you said, that don't beat women. It's, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. But that's where I was going with that.
I totally agree, man. It's crazy what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And
So you see, we're talking about all these things, and everything comes with that thing we mentioned at the beginning, how that mindset, you know, when you have the right mindset, it gets you to start making different decisions, right? For good, right? Your case, real estate, case filming, fitness, fitness this. You're man, you do everything. All right, for everyone, just for everyone know this guy, you tell him, hey, nutrition, go. Yeah, you want to learn nutrition? He's like, fuck yeah, I learn nutrition. You want to be an electrician? Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, even though I might burn there, but I'll be there. You know, and
you want to deadlift 4 plates? Do it.
Yeah, I mean, I got you once on that. No, but honestly, it's that mindset. It's the mindset of having positive, that positive outcomes on your head. Like, okay, if I do this, yeah, I might have some challenges here and there, but the outcome, the positive outcome, I see the positive. I don't see it. Challenges will always be there, and I'm not really gonna sink in the challenge, in the we call it problem, but it's a challenge. I'm not gonna get there, and I'm not going to get numb in there, because that's more like getting numb.
Honestly, though, I think like in order for people to at least start realizing what's going on, start realizing, I need to have a better mindset. They need to start understanding like the movements that are out there, what they're really for, what their real purpose. Yeah, that's like feminism movement, right? Yeah. Is it really helping women? No. Is it empowering women? Really? It's not. It's actually the opposite. It's degrading women, and they're encouraging women to OnlyFans. It's supposedly now it's
glorified.
It's right.
It's glorified.
It's right. It's glorified, and at the end of the day, you're degrading your body, your most intimate. Part
what makes you special now?
What makes you special now? And or like just people that go, women or men too, that just go and fuck. And okay, we're humans, right? But at the end of the day, I've met 20-year-old women and men that have a body count of 30, which is crazy.
Or more.
Because
it's ego,
more.
Man. It's ego. It's the temptation.
Which is crazy because at the end of the day, when you get married, and I'm not saying that's your goal to get married, right? But if you do get married, what's going to be so special about your husband's dick or your wife's pussy, And literally...
Wives have vaginas, by the way. They don't have pussies.
Cardi B says otherwise.
Cardi B says otherwise.
Yeah, we're just following what Cardi B said.
But something that I was going to mention, though... Something that I was going to mention, though, and why I feel people are afraid to speak out against these movements is because they're radicalized. Well, we have to accept the fact that they're radicalized, but they don't want to speak out against it because they have friends and they want to keep that image of themselves.
They still care what people think about them.
They care what people think about them, even though it's wrong, and it's wrong. They're not going to speak about it because you know what? I have friends that they might think I'm a conservative, and I don't want that. Which is the wrong thing to do. It's a bad mentality. Or like the LGBTQ movement, which I don't mind. People are gay. Love each other,
Don't teach it to my
kids.
Though.
Don't teach it to my kids, though. Yeah. But people are never going to speak out against the movement, even though there's a lot of bad things about the movement.
Yeah.
Like I'm not disrespecting gay people or anything.
No.
But the movement, I'm talking about the movement itself, the organization. People don't speak out about it because they have gay friends, and you know what? I don't want to offend them, but is it right for them to be showing, transgender people in Nickelodeon?
Okay, I'm going to piggyback on that and go a little more controversial. So I have conversations with liberals on my Instagram feed and, they're African American. And so just because I disagree with their stance on the world and the country doesn't mean that I'm a racist, right? If I truly believe, because there are plenty of people that are proven facts, right? Factual examples that say it doesn't matter where you come from. You put the time in yourself, and you honor, like Robert Greene, the 48 Laws of Power. No, that's not the one. It's called Mastery. Robert Greene's book Mastery, and it's like this big. I haven't read the whole thing, but the basic concept is you spend 10,000 hours in 10 years on any skill.
You're gonna master it.
You can master the skill. You become a master. So what are you mastering? Mastering watching Netflix, mastering watching rap videos, or whatever. Like it doesn't matter. Whatever you're spending your time in the streets doing drugs or just hanging out with your boys. It doesn't matter what color you are, no race, nothing. Everybody of all different shapes and sizes are guilty of this, right? So it has nothing to do with the color of your skin. Yeah. We all have We live in a country that has an abundance of opportunity. You should start acting like it. And unfortunately, if you don't, then you're going to be where you're at. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with being racist at all. It's not a racist statement. You know what I mean?
It's not. And like I've met gay people before, friends of mine that tell me like, you know what, it's actually wrong. I'm against them, shoving it to the children. They're against it.
Yeah.
But
I do too. I have people like that too.
Yeah, and I never see them speak out about it. I never see them speak out about it or their friends because they want to keep that image. And I want you to. You mentioned it earlier. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. About the percentage, the less than 1%. Like how
they make up.
You can explain it better than I can.
They make up transgender people, and I have zero problem with them. If you choose to be whatever you want to be, then you do that, right? But that population is 0.001% of the entire population, and we are considering changing the English language. The definition of what a man and a woman is. How did we get there? Why is that even up for discussion? You know what I mean? Are we good or did it die?
You keep talking, man. Don't worry, man.
No, I mean, that's just really it. It's like the population is this big, right? And like I said, do whatever you want to do. If you want to be a man or a woman, or you don't want to be called either one of those, you want to be called this or that. I don't know who's going to agree with that. You can't expect the entire world to change their language of what a man and a woman is. It's just not like those are the same people that trust the science. Yeah, it's like I thought you trusted the science. You're wearing a mask because you trust the science or whatever. That's a whole different topic. But it doesn't make sense, and I'm not ever going to
agree.
I'm never gonna no. And there's way more of us than there are of them, and it's not saying that we're being rude or disrespectful or that we're homophobic or anti that whatever.
Who cares?
It's not. We're not.
We're just not literally like I saw a picture on Instagram, and it was like we're oppressed, like to the LGBTQ, we're oppressed. All of the companies that have their logo as a rainbow and all of the things,
Chick-fil-A did it.
Yeah. Literally over 30 companies.
They have a commercial,
every commercial, like
a whole month.
How is
a
it?
Whole month dedicated.
How is it that you're oppressed? How is it that you can marry in all 50 states?
But it should be it's engineered outrage. So we have to treat it as it's expected. Of course they're going to throw it at us like that because they want us to be outraged. That's how they control us. We have to be smarter than that. We have to outthink them. Literally the art of war type shit. We have to subvert from the inside. I'm reading it right now.
Beautiful.
What page are you in now?
I'm like very in the beginning. And
it's just like 100 pages, but it's a great philosophy. I highly recommend you guys the art of war. And man. Sorry to interrupt.
We have to. In other words, they're trying to engineer this outrage because eventually they want us to be so outraged that we start our own civil war. We kill each other, right? But we don't have to do that. We literally don't have to fire a single shot, and we can win. We can overcome and save humanity, literally. But we have to start with ourselves, and we have to make it popular. And then other people see, wow, look at those people. They started from here. I know that guy. And what did he do? And look where he's at now. And you connect with all the same people that are doing the same things.
Yeah, but then what makes it unappetizing is the amount of work and the amount of change that you have to make within yourself. It's uncomfortable. Why? Because it goes back to what we said in the beginning. They're just not ready.
They're not ready yet. But when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So there's plenty of information. We live in the age of information where it is now a choice to be ignorant. It's your choice if you want to be ignorant.
God gave us consciousness, right?
Yeah.
And even like you said, we live in the age of information, but also what I see a lot of people do, including myself sometimes, I'm guilty of this sometimes, but people see the truth out there. Like the information is shared and people still don't acknowledge it. People still don't take it serious. It's something that should be taken serious,
Well, because it goes back to what he's saying, it's too uncomfortable to make those changes.
Exactly. People don't want to feel uncomfortable, so they decide to deny the truth and live in their fake reality.
Cognitive dissonance, right?
Cognitive dissonance, yes.
Easier to ignore the problem.
Yeah, like the truth is uncomfortable, therefore I'm gonna ignore it because I don't want to be uncomfortable.
But then complain when at the end everything's gone to shit.
I just have to say, it's so refreshing. Like when I met you guys, like y'all are 22, 23, 24. When I met you, 23, 24 now, and you 24. Like just it's so refreshing to see young men like you guys that have that mindset. Like if only I had that type of mindset or half of the mindset that you guys had back then, where would I be right now? You know what I mean? Like, and I know that I'm headed there, and you guys are gonna. It's impressive, and it makes me happy.
No, dude, it makes us happy because you made those mistakes. So people in our position, the younger ones can learn from you.
Exactly.
So
that's really what it is.
Believe it or not,
learning from other people's mistakes.
Believe it or not, like I met you in Nebraska, Atlanta. I learned a lot from you, dude. Like the book, you got me on that book, man. And that mindset, you know, and it's important that, and it's a good thing that you can spread that positivity, spread that mentality, and I'm happy that we're here.
Dude, me too, man. Me too.
And you see, now we just talk about groups and all that stuff, and how companies, like you said, put their logo and just to represent the month, which is, again, nothing against them, but at the end of the day, you know, it's something like, it's like me telling me, oh, you should do this, and if you don't do it, you're fucked. You know, I feel like that. You should accept.
They're shoving it down your throat, and
we have to accept that it's expected behavior. Like we get it. We know that they're expecting it. We have to. I mean, we have to expect it. You know what I mean? Like they are trying to, and we know that.
And it's so easy to put you down. I guess like the regular individual will put you down if you speak against it, because it's supposedly inhumane to be against it.
Yeah.
Because people just want to love each other or not. But when you know the real purpose of the organization, when you know, I mean, any psychologist and sociologist can tell you how it's going to affect society. Yeah. And 20 years from now.
There's the pedophiles that tried to join LGBTQ. They try to add that as well. They try to make it like literally to try to make it a thing. Like pedophilia is also
and I'm not psychological issue.
And LGBTQ
trying to be lowered.
And LGBTQ does not represent all gay people. It does not. But
just like BLM doesn't
represent
all black people.
Yeah. But people should speak out against these things, even though, like you know what I'm saying. Like you should speak out about it, but people don't speak out about it for the same reason what I said, which is their image. They don't want to seem anti. You know, a hater or whatever.
But when they see us, people like us doing it, and we don't care. I don't care. I post all kinds of shit. I post what's on my mind. I post the truth, and I want people to see it. And then I see other people sharing my posts, and I'm just sharing people's posts too, because there are other people that are doing that. They're giving me, you know, they gave me the courage to say, yeah, you know what, this is the message, and this is what I want to put out there, because we are like-minded. And then more people, and that's how it starts. Yeah. You know what I mean? We have the internet. We got to use it for the right things, and they're trying. I don't know, whoever they are trying to use it to contain us, control us, brainwash us, indoctrinate us. Yeah. So they put all these obstacles and these distractions in place to do that. You know, sports, music, movies. I watch movies, of course, but I see through the propaganda now, and I'm like, I see.
Don't try it, dude. Like you're like.
I see the message you're putting.
Don't try it. Like you're like.
Literally, almost every movie is gonna have that. Almost every.
That's why I like the old school classics, man.
That's the beauty of losing all ego.
Yeah.
You're able to actually observe what's going on both sides, and you hire your consciousness, and when you hire your consciousness, you know right from wrong.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I can literally watch a movie right now, and I can tell you if it's good or not, because it's like straight up. I mean, Interstellar, bro. That shit was amazing.
No, but I can watch one and I can really remember every single.
Like what I'm trying to say is like. My partner, my fiance, she shows Wreck-It Ralph break the internet. I told you guys about this earlier, and the whole movie is literally just a commercial. It's an advertisement on social media, YouTube, all these companies, and it's also indoctrination to your kids. Yeah. Like this is not how people. If you watch a movie and you pay attention to it and you think about how it's wrong. Yeah. You can see why you shouldn't be seeing those things, and a lot of Disney movies are like that. A lot of them, a lot. Yeah. And who watches these movies? Our kids.
Yeah. It's like there's the satanic agenda too that's in there, because I mean nowadays you can't watch a Disney movie without the characters being some kind of demons or monsters or zombies, even though they're cartoons and they're friendly, you know that, like, you know, there's still some type of dead, like, you know, undead thing, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother.
But yeah, man. I know, you know, as we are mentioning all this, and I want to go back to groups. One of the things I've seen, that's why I see people are getting more into believing on the group. Whichever group, doesn't have to be specifically one, right? I believe, you know, we say we have weaker men, right? And when we say weaker men, we go again going back to what we said. It's not. You have to be this hard man. I'm gonna be a bitch with you and all that stuff, right? Yeah. Towards a woman, right? That does not mean that. It means just being responsible for yourself, and that is a problem, you know. When we see someone, whether you're a man or a woman, is not responsible for himself, or a woman for herself, what happens? Okay, let me follow something that I feel okay with it, I feel connected to. So they go to a group. That's what you see. I believe colleges. It started with colleges. How a college was able to create that scenario for the real world, right? Now, oh, you have to be with this group of ladies or guys. You have to be with this group of guys in college and support each other and be part of a group all the time. And what happens? The real world. Now you depend on the group. So you believe so much on this group because it has given you opportunities, if you really want to call them that, of expressing yourself. Yeah, just letting you express yourself. I'm not telling you it's not. But guess what? Don't believe everything they say. They told me once. Right. I have trust issues. So, and let's be honest with that. You cannot really believe everything that they say. And again, if that group, eventually you believe too much in that group, you let that group really be part of you, what will happen later? If that you are gonna be so brainwashed or so believable in that group, and that if that group says throw yourself off the roof,
what's it called? The cult.
Yeah,
it's called the cults.
Yeah. But
you're gonna do it, and guess what? We're looking at it. If that group, not to go too deep into this, or I want to leave that for another day. But we've seen it, if a leader of a group said, all these kind of people are bad, so what will happen? Now when they see like a person that, that's Anglo, right? Which is, for you guys don't know, it's like a white person, right? Anglo, right? That's the right word, I believe. It could be like, all Anglos are bad. They're gonna think that, right? Or when you see a African American, right?
That's a danger. That's a danger of these organizations.
Yeah,
like, they're so radical, and they're become more radical now, and politicized even, which it's a dangerous thing for society, especially now because, these people are very powerful.
Yeah,
and something that I've told Aaron before, like these people know how our mind works.
Yeah.
So and we don't. Like the average person doesn't. The average person doesn't. Yeah. So they use that to their advantage to control us.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a very dangerous thing. Yeah. And until people start waking up and realizing that these organizations are bad for you, bad for society, then
that's what the mission is. Honestly, like I said, I posted this before, like we're in one giant, we literally are a herd of sheep, right? Just as a society, we're one giant herd, and we're being herded over the edge of a cliff right now by the people that are, we're in the middle trying to get out, we're trying to turn everybody around, but there's too many of them that are not, but I think it's kind of, the tides are starting to change. I think more of us are starting to wake up, and we are trying to wake other people up. And I see it, and so I see the positive that we are heading in the right direction, and that's when it becomes more popular to be like us and say we want to be stronger, we want to think for ourselves. We have the power to educate ourselves and create our reality.
Yeah,
that's what I want to be a part of that. And if you want to be a part of the one that wants to destroy things, burn things down for not getting your way, and cry the loudest and not do anything, and you have your hand out for whatever you're trying to get from the government, you can be a part of that too. But I promise you, my tribe is going to be a lot bigger, and we're going to be the ones that are going to be here and survive. Those are going to be the ones that are,
natural selection.
I don't know, whatever. But they're all welcome. They're welcome in the tribe as long as you don't do anything to,
don't even try to instill those habits back.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Like if you put the safety and happiness of the tribe in jeopardy, you're not welcome. You know what I mean?
And we saw that. Unfortunately, the cycle would always keep repeating itself. We saw it with the church in early history. Got corrupted. Everyone believed church was the right thing, right? And back then, and we were talking about 1500s, like long time ago, right? People got into it, it got corrupted, and eventually people started doing, bad things, right? Then it goes back to another thing, a group, and that group becomes a cult, and cult, things like that. We're seeing it now with, unfortunately, this organization. That's what I see, at least. That's the truth that I want to believe, because that's what I.
What organization?
Like all the organizations that, let's call it what it is. Not that I want to tag any person.
Any organization.
Big tech, big pharma.
Just
throw it out there.
Like call it tech. Big tech. Let's just say big tech, but because big tech always promotes those type of organizations, right? Which is, what they call the liberal organizations. When I call it more like the organizations that gonna mess you up. I mean, it's not the liberal or not. It's just they're gonna mess you up, right? We're seeing it. You're saying it. We're starting to see it. Some people are getting to their what we believe is the right route. Unfortunately, the cycle will always keep repeating. I just pray to God I'm not here when I see that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to be 80 years old, and that happens, because that's what we're looking at right now. We're looking at 70 years old, 80 years old, that they are saying openly, back in my time, I used to be a liberal and I voted Democrat, right? Or voted this or that. And now I'm disappointed because they saw how it grew. It grew their common sense, and little by little got corrupted, and boom, it fall down.
The politicians I don't think they've ever really represented us as Americans.
Exactly.
I didn't really follow politics when I was younger, but I know the history. I know that a lot of these countries, our enemies, are in the back pocket. How many Chinese spies, Russian spies were literally working in the cabinet or directly in Congress to the assistant,
or university.
They're exactly. They're in our back pockets of our politicians. They don't represent us. We got sold out a long time ago, and we have to realize that we've been subverted from the inside. The laws that passed to change our education, to educate our children, that's on purpose. That they want to teach us to hate this country.
And something that I copied here on my computer a long time ago was that I saw on the internet, and I copied it. It says, if more humans don't learn how to handle their minds, this corruption will continue, because until we all learn that our mind lies to us, people who do understand how our mind lied to us will continue to manipulate humanity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, again, if people say, "Oh, I disagree with everything you're saying," how can you disagree with being self-made, from learning and improving yourself? I mean, if you disagree with everything that I'm saying, then I'm sorry. Then I don't know what to say. But
I did my best.
How could you? That's fine. Go right ahead. But there's a lot of people that love what I'm saying. I hear it all the time. I get so much praise from the conversations I have in my car from older people, from all different types of people. I mean, the majority of the conversations I have, I'm telling you, just like this. We talk just like this. And they're like, "Oh my God, I love it. I'm so glad that you know what I mean?"
And also, you said conversation. Not everything has to be an argument.
Exactly.
Never lose control of your emotions. You always want to think logically, not emotionally.
It's always facts over feelings. It has to be like that. And I feel like nowadays, there's a lot of controversial topics that purposely the sociologists that work for the top people, purposely they make it seem to where people get offended real quick. Or you argue, you get offended, you start screaming and stuff like that. It involves their feelings a lot. And people don't know how to discuss nowadays. College, for example, should be a place where a safe space for discussion. And nowadays, you don't have that.
They created safe spaces.
And not only that.
And it's funny, it's crazy. It's crazy what goes on in college, in universities. They're segregating again. They're segregating again.
I've heard that.
You cannot have your own opinion if you're
freedom of speech is that.
And now that you bring that up, I think I told you guys 2 months ago, my birthday, that they kicked me out. I kicked me out a few days out of school. So right, he remembers, and all because I threw my opinion, I just want to be clear on that. I don't have anything against anyone. All right, if you want,
they kicked you out of school
for a few days.
For having an opinion. On what was your?
Basically, we had this transgender person. Correct. Transgender person, and I believe what I believe. I believe what I was teach. I believe the science that I've been studying for my short life, because I think that's what I have, a short life. And whether I want to say I'm right, because not only the biology says it, part of the Bible says it, this says it, and I'm a guy that has some connection,
Trust the science, right?
Yeah.
And so eventually, this person decides to throw a comment, middle of the class, and because we were discussing. Back when I was in college, my major was kinesiology. We were discussing male and female tests, right? That we process on physical tests, right? Stamina, this, timing, that stuff, right? And eventually we have standards like male, because some have more, male are stronger, maybe faster too,
biologically,
and this person throws a comment, what about me? You're offending me, and I just threw it. There's only two genders. I threw that.
I mean, that's the truth.
And I said there's only two genders. I pick up my hand.
There's nothing offensive about that.
I pick up my hand, throwing at the screen that was shown by the professor. There's only
like you go on Amazon, you order a shirt, male or female.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised it's still
now.
there.
Exactly. I mean, I
over
said it,
there.
right? I threw that comment or opinion or whatever people want to say this. I believe it's my opinion. It's my truth. It's my fact, right?
For Christ's sake, the professor.
Yeah. And the professor didn't say anything. The professor, in fact, was like, maybe he was gonna say something because like he already said it.
But it's because I believe that they can get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like
they work for the
university.
Yeah,
for the university, and the university they have guidelines and stuff like that. But I used to be a trainer at Concentrix, and I used to have classes of 20 to 25 people. I would teach them for like 8 weeks, the customer service, the products and stuff like that. I met a lot of great people there, and I met a lot of college students as well. So we would always have these topics, and they would always tell me, you can't really speak about this on this class because this professor won't pass you. And there's an app I think where you can review your professor or something like that. They would show me that.
Yeah, rate your professor.
Rate your professor or something like that, and like the reviews would say like you can't really say your own opinion or anything like that.
That's good. I'm glad they have that, so you can be aware.
Like,
you know?
But I mean, even though they have that, professors don't care nowadays.
Yeah.
And
after your promotions and bonuses
for their purpose. For their purpose.
Yeah.
And I've debated people that have been to college, and just because of the fact that they've been to college and graduated or whatever. They feel already superior.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't make a good job.
No.
They feel already like superior because they had that I guess that degree or whatever.
Yeah.
But in school they're never gonna teach you the corruption that's going on. They're never gonna teach you.
They want to create employees.
They're never gonna cross the line. They're gonna just teach you textbook.
Yeah.
And that's it.
They want us to be busy worker employees. They don't want free thinking individuals who can create their own reality, their own business. Then you won't need them anymore. They need us to need them.
Yeah, and of course in school they're not gonna teach you like, oh, this is the society's changing in a bad way because of this organization, and this is what's gonna look like in 10 years. No, they're actually pushing it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And college is the future. Like the people that are in college is the future.
Yeah.
And right now colleges are very radical. I mean, you look at, there's a lot of videos on the internet that people go to these colleges, they interview, and people are very radical.
It's proof.
It's proof. There's proof. There's literally hours of video of proof, and you can't deny that.
No.
And yeah, I mean, you said that, but again, going back to that, unfortunately, that person had his friend or her friend, or I don't know how to say it now, for that person, right? The friend knew the dean, which is the president of the college.
Right.
I got a report. They gave me a report. This is a few days suspension from school, and this was before COVID. This was like.
What was the reason they gave for your suspension?
Because I offended someone that was transgender.
That's what it was. Offending.
Yeah,
somebody?
that was not. I mean,
Like
it
the
was more.
actual term?
It was more specific.
Okay.
They gave it to. I mean, it was like we're talking about,
Right.
almost a year.
A report,
Yeah.
basically a report.
But I read the report. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? Like
You just stated that there was 3 genders.
Yeah, I just said that. That's all I said, right?
It's crazy how they suppress you like that. The truth. They suppress the truth, which is, absolutely crazy. But.
Yeah. But again, you see, we see like in colleges, we see this programming, this. But again, at the end of the day, we have the choice, and they're taking away that choice. They take. They're not taking away telling you directly. It's more like they're doing actions that little by little you're falling into them, and by the time you realize, it's like, okay, they took.
And a lot of these people are voluntarily giving up their choice or their freedoms. I mean, they're asking, where, please take this one too, take that one.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like because we live in the age of information, more people are waking up to it, and it's almost like they know that, so they're trying to implement this even faster.
Monetize.
They're trying to
change it. Yeah, they're trying to change.
We can go in another episode, but the NWO is a real thing, and they're pushing it on us hard. And they have to do it quicker because we're waking up to it faster because of the age of information. So Anyway.
Yeah, but
net neutrality. I think that's what they were doing. The net neutrality. Remember, they were trying to kind of like cancel the internet, not cancel the internet, but like.
Oh, I remember hearing about that. I don't know. We were talking about that.
Kind of limit it to like China.
That's like China, yeah. We won't be able to. It's basically almost like that. I mean, all the censorship that's going on right now, they're trying to make it that way. But we keep catching the people like James O'Keefe and all these people that are
crazy
whistleblowers. I mean, we need people like that. Those are the part of the tribe. We're all in the same, vibration and frequency.
That's good. That's awesome.
There we go.
That honestly gave me hope.
Yeah.
Seeing that Project Veritas video from the reporter speaking out.
Hope right
and
there.
the whistleblower from Facebook too, talking about the censorship of the vaccine hesitancy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one too.
And Facebook, I think they actually came back. They actually responded to it, and they took off the
warnings.
They took off the warnings and stuff. They were also they were censoring people that were speaking against the vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they reversed that because of that, the whistleblower, which is
You couldn't take pressure.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
And that's how it works. If we're united, if people speak up, united, we can beat the government. We can beat anyone, any corporation. We can do it if we want. But that's the reason. The reason why we're so divided is because they don't want that to happen.
Exactly.
So,
well, guys, I mean, as you can see, that was a good uppercut for a lot of people out there.
We speak a lot of truth.
We did speak a lot of stuff that we believe is common sense. We talk about from the mindset and how that mindset connects with one thing and the other, from your personal development, the governmental issues, freedom issues that are going on right now at the moment, including movement issues that we see as well, and all because all related to not the best mindset for the group of people that are there. One, and
how it's affecting people out there, and our goal here is for people to wake up to that.
Yeah.
Have a better mindset.
Have a warrior.
Listen to the books that we mentioned here. Yeah. Hard Times Create Strong Man. The Power of Intention.
The Power
of the Subconscious Mind. Is really good as
the
well.
Art of War.
I could mention that one. Changed my mind.
We did mention that one. The Art of War as well. But yeah, guys, we threw all that for you. I hope you made it to the end of this episode. We have with you guys. We have our first guest, Jonathan, here. Before we leave, we wanna throw out there a reminder that you can follow us on the social media account Weekend Warriors. At the moment, that's the name of it, right? We will change it soon. By the time you listen to this,
we'll link it.
Yeah, we'll link it to you for you. In that, there's a link of all of our social media. And Jonathan, you want to throw your social media information, that way people can listen to you?
Sure. So I share a lot of my stuff on my story of my Instagram only. My post right now is more family related. I put pictures of my kids and stuff.
Yeah.
But my story is where I really post my stuff, and so it's Instagram. It's J Ozuniga 25. Okay. So it's Ozuniga.
Awesome. So
perfect.
It was a pleasure having you, dude. For real. You have a great mind, and I'm glad to be your friend.
I hope we have another one of these soon.
That's it. There you go, guys. That's how we conclude this episode. We hope you have a great day, great evening, whichever time you're listening to this. If you make it to the end, the first one, good. If you're listening 2 parts, 3 parts, your choice. All right. Okay. Other than that, have a great one. Take care. See you in the next one.
Thank you.